There are over 16 million 529 accounts in the United States, with $450 billion in total savings. So, what if your child ends up not going to college? Or maybe college ends up not being as expensive as you expected? What can families do with money left over in a 529 plan? What if I told you there's a way that you could use it to build real generational wealth? Well, in this video, I want to tell you the story of a family that is doing just that using some new rules about what you can do with leftover college savings. And stick around until the end, and I'll show you just how powerful this new strategy can be. As of the beginning of 2024, it is possible to convert leftover 529 funds into a Roth IRA, free of federal taxes or penalties. Please note that depending on which state you're in, your state may count the conversion as income for that year. Now let's talk about how one family is using this new rule to set their kid up for success in the future. So our story starts with Michael and Sarah Jones and their daughter Maggie, who live here in the Dallas area. Through savings, gifts from friends and family, investing, they've managed to build a large enough college savings fund to focus on sending Maggie to a school based off fit, not necessarily the most affordable school. Maggie ended up receiving a great scholarship package to a private business school with an entrepreneurial program that she was really excited about. I'd be interested to hear, what are the most interesting or unique college classes or programs you've heard of? My alma mater, Texas A&M, has a Texas barbecue course in the animal science department that's held every fall semester. Now, the Joneses had the option to pull the money out equivalent to her scholarship without any penalties, but she decided not to because she wanted to pursue her MBA after her undergrad. Maggie ended up graduating with about $40,000 left in her 529 plan, and she managed to land a job with a company that sponsored employees to pursue advanced degrees, which meant that she wasn't going to even have to pay for her own MBA. Michael and Sarah were thrilled for her, but now they faced a dilemma. What were they going to do with the leftover money in the 529 plan? They were on track for their retirement savings, so they didn't need to pull it out for themselves. And a lot of the funds for the college were gifts to Maggie. They decided they wanted to find a way to use the money to help set Maggie up for long-term success. But how? Their solution came in the form of the new rule change that allows 529 plans to be converted to Roth IRAs. To convert a 529 plan to a Roth IRA, the Roth must be set up for the beneficiary of 529 plan. Since Maggie's the beneficiary of the 529 plan, the Roth IRA has to be in her name and it belongs to her. There are some important limits to keep in mind. Rollover amounts from a 529 plan to a Roth IRA are restricted by the annual Roth IRA contribution limits set by the IRS and have a lifetime limit of $35,000 in aggregate per beneficiary. This means that to meet the IRS requirements, the beneficiary must have earned income from their employment, and in 2024, the Roth IRA contribution limit is $7,000 for those under the age of 50. Since Maggie is employed and is earning more than $7,000 a year, she can convert the full $7,000 limit in 2024. Keep in mind that this limit means that it's going to take several years of conversions in order to get the total amount out of the 529 plan that she can. And because there's a $35,000 lifetime cap on the rollover, she won't be able to roll over the full $40,000 into her Roth IRA. Another restriction on this strategy has to do with when funds and accounts are eligible for it. The 529 plan needs to have been in existence for at least 15 years prior to the rollover. Now, just to be clear, we're still waiting on some clarification from Congress and the IRS, but any changes to the 529 plan, such as changes to beneficiary or moving the 529 plan from one state to another, or changing the ownership status of the 529 plan, will probably restart the 15-year clock, but we haven't gotten clarification from the IRS yet. Additionally, you can't roll over any contributions or earnings on the contributions that were made in the previous 5 years. So you can't convert more than what you had in the account 5 years ago. Now, the Jones family started the 529 plan when Maggie was still in diapers, and they stopped contributing to it after she graduated high school with the final amount of $5,000 in graduation gifts. So Maggie easily meets our time restrictions. So let's talk about the actual steps required in order to do the 529 to Roth conversion. The first step is for the 529 beneficiary to set up a Roth IRA. Michael and Sarah spoke with their financial advisor, and they were able to help Maggie set up a Roth IRA. The next step is to actually request the transfer. Different state 529 plans have different rules. For example, Virginia's 529 plan requires that the beneficiary be the one to fill out and submit the paperwork, whereas Utah's requires that the owners fill out and submit the paperwork. Michael and Sarah used Utah's 529 plan, which requires that the account owner submit the request, so they filled out the PDF form online and mailed it in. The Utah plan asks for the 529 account number, the owner's details, the amount of the rollover, and details about the beneficiary's Roth IRA account. The plan for the Jones family is to request the transfer of the annual limit each year until the 529 plan is either empty or the max of $35,000 has been converted. Now you may be asking, Drew, why is this such a big deal? With a lifetime cap of $35,000, how much impact could this really have? Well, let's assume that over the next 5 years, Michael and Sarah transfer $7,000 each year to Maggie's Roth IRA. Maggie has decades before she enters retirement. So just for the sake of this example, let's assume that Maggie invests the Roth IRA in a diversified portfolio based on her timeline and risk profile. And let's assume that it's going to give her a hypothetical average annual return of 7.5%. If she doesn't add or withdraw any funds from the account between now and age 70 through compound interest alone, that $35,000 could grow to over $1 million. And that is how families like Michael and Sarah can use leftover college funds to build generational wealth. If you found this video helpful, check out our other videos for more college savings and planning tips.